welcome to my Tuesday live stream. My after work, gonna play some video games live stream. Thank you for joining me. Looks like I have or had one person in the live stream. So whoever you were, whoever you are, if you're still there, hi. And if you come back, hi again, welcome back. And we'll just go from there. So what are we doing? What's going on? What am I trying to accomplish here? Well, I guess I'm just really trying to demonstrate that you don't have to get a new PC, you don't have to get the latest gear, and if you've gone looking at some of the pricing from these things because you're interested in live streaming, or you know somebody who's interested in live streaming, maybe they're a friend or a family member, whether it be for business or they're a DJ or they wanted to get into game streaming. You look at a lot of the videos when you go to YouTube and you do a search and they start talking about all-in-one PCs that do it all, or they show off a lot of the exciting hardware, which tends to be relatively expensive. There's nothing wrong with that hardware. It's absolutely exceptional and probably worth the price. But at the same time, you go to Amazon and you look and you see some of these really inexpensive items and you wonder whether or not they're worth it or not. Then you go maybe and you check out a review onto them and they'll show you a few minutes of the actual usage and talk about how, wow, I was really impressed by this, or here are some of the issues that I think I have with this one. And you're like, okay, but how does that actually really work? Does it gonna hold up? This just seems, kind of too good to be true. So that's where we're at. And what I did is I took an old PC that I had and I decided to turn it into a dedicated gaming system, which meant, going out and getting an SSD for, reinstalling Windows. I paid maybe $35 at most, about $30 on average for a small 256 gig, SSD, which made the system feel so much snappier. Went out and picked up some really inexpensive stuff, got a webcam, microphone, headset, things like that, some lighting behind me. You could see the blue glow going on in the background there. These are LED lights. I can control them with an app on my phone, and they just connect up through the Wi-Fi. It's really convenient. And at the same time, I got probably one of the cheapest capture cards that you can find on Amazon, depending on the seller and the price. I think Newegg right now has these as cheap as $27. I believe that's even with free shipping, which is absolutely amazing for what is, as it says up in the picture, 4K Ultra HD capture card. The limitation is the 4K is pass-through. So if you have something like an Ultra HD or, basically a 1440 or a 4K television and you have a console, you can put it through and still play at 4K. But what you're sending to the computer and thereby up to your stream is going to be at 1080p 60 frames per second, which, to be honest, is the ideal and kind of the standard resolution and frames per second that a lot of streamers are playing at. And it's a lot that they're streaming at. They may stream higher than that, but the majority of people are still either watching on 1080p or on their phone even lower resolutions. So 1080p 60 is a great target to shoot for. It's kind of that middle ground, hits the most people. And if you're trying to get into this and you can start at those resolutions, and build an audience, start making money, doing things like that, then of course you can move up into the higher resolutions. But if you can start at 1080p 60, you're going to get a really good looking stream. I think you're going to be a lot happier, and your audience is probably going to be a lot happier with that than they would if you were to say start at something lower. So that's why I'm picking that as the target, 1080p 60 with a nice smooth, no real hiccups or anything like that live stream. And that's what we've been doing. I've been doing, let's see, I've got 4 of these so far. The first one was not great, but every other one since then has been pretty good. What I've gone and done is put up some of the monitoring things so that you can see the performance of the system and the stream, those kinds of things, while watching the gameplay, listening to the audio, things like that. If there's anybody in there and you want to leave comments or anything on how the audio and things are setting up, you can. as far as the headset, it's just a like I said, $30 headset that I got off of there. You can get them with a mic. So if you wanted to forego the microphone for a bit, maybe save up and get a better one, this one is working perfectly fine. It was relatively inexpensive and came with multiple accessories. You could of course spend more and get a better quality mic, maybe something that doesn't pick up a lot of the clicking from your keyboard or from your controller, things like that. I have had issues, and notice that that's one of the things I would say about this microphone. So, but otherwise, I've been perfectly happy with it. I think the audio quality into it's fine. I went ahead and I moved it. It's actually up here now, so I've readjusted things and put it higher to try to see if I can reduce some of that keyboardy noise that's going on with it. Use it more of like a boom mic as opposed to something right in front of you. So, but we've got our gameplay that we're going to do on, so let's go ahead. I've got the after work drink and still drinking Jameson and Coke. That's working out pretty good for the game stream so far. And what are we playing? Well, I decided we're going to stick around and we will be my favorite redheaded Jedi. We're going to go ahead and play some Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Where did we leave off last time? That's an excellent question. Well, we ran a little long last time because we wanted to finish off the planet. I think we got new force powers. We're able to pull things now. And let's see, where are we headed to? Well, why don't we go ahead and continue and find out. Now using a dedicated system. Oh, that's right. I got captured, got kidnapped. Don't have my lightsaber. Just sitting here about to go and fight. But like I was saying, actually I'm not sure. I think I was going to say, depending on the old hardware that you're using, you're going to have to play around with settings, and you're going to want to monitor things like this. That's why I have the stream set up the way that it is, so that you can see, the difference between what OBS is saying and what the task manager is saying. You may want to get an additional application that gives you more details like CPU temps and things like that may be either more accurate or at least a little different because it's reading from different locations built into the motherboard. Those things might be helpful. Not that all things are equal. So the FX 6300 series and the FX series as a whole was not overwhelmingly loved by the tech community. It was common, it was out there, it was inexpensive, and at the time, gave adequate performance that was needed. And I think one of the reasons why it ended up being able to hold on to some longevity was the fact that it was one of the earlier ones that had multi-threading. At a time, single threading was the dominant thing. Now multi-threaded tasks are pretty much built into most applications, and you have what we're seeing now where all 6 threads are being run at about 80-85%, and our all-core speed is in the mid-3s. So we're doing what we can and we're pushing as best we can, and I think it looks pretty good on the stream. I've gone back and watched several of the videos and I think they look pretty good too. We'll, maybe one day of the week I'll play some first-person shooters like an Apex Legends. I have that one. I might be able to play that because those are really popular to stream. So maybe you've got your kid or your friend who's like, I'm really bomb at this, I should totally stream. You can go back and be like, hey, check out this guy's streams. You really don't have to go get that really good computer if you're already playing well on what you have. Because then you're just taking what you have that works and running it through something that's relatively inexpensive. You can even go on to Craigslist and look locally and be like, hey, who's selling an old PC for $200? I slap $50 into it, and that's a hell of a lot better than trying to go buy a whole new system for $2,000 to $3,000 or more $1,000. So, what do you say we go on in here and see what's going on?
lives! We had action on how long it would take you to get here.
And who are you?
Who am I? I'm Sork Tormo, baby. I'm the boss of this operation. You have greasy forearms to thank for bringing us together.
I will. As soon as we get out of here.
We have a special challenger for you tonight. An enforcer from a bygone era. A Jedi! Let's see what he's got. Oh, somebody get baby his toy.
A show?
Oh yeah, there's
I'll give you a show.
I smell blood and money. Tonight, we celebrate those fallen challengers.
Distracted by my phone there. Sorry about that.
And the great sacrifice they made to make us all rich.
Hello, big guy. Hey, I was getting out of the way.
He's in the zone. Look at those odds change. You think that was hard? Just wait.
What?
You get the hang of it quick.
Maybe you should come down and face me yourself.
I'm too busy counting my credits.
Hey, great. You talk too much.
Get him some real action. What a strike from the Jedi. Easy pickings. This is not your day. You can't stop them all. Poor Jedi.
I need a stim, BD.
I'm just getting smacked around all the time, aren't I? No, I did not take that.
Don't give up.
Toss me one, BD.
Oh, I jumped out of the way in time.
Win them all.
This is not good.
Another
My
step.
last step. Apparently can't block in mid-jump. Interesting. Alright, there we go. One down, one creepy thing to go.
How does he do that? Okay, he likes to play rough. The best is yet to come.
This is not good.
I believe you
Not
know
good.
our next challengers. The Haxian Brood is gunning for you. Live free.
Jedi. Take it. Oh, you're in trouble.
I dealt that.
Get some.
Watch out! Get him!
Combo time. Time to collect.
So close. So close. But that's okay, we're just getting warmed up here. First fight right out of the stream. It happens.
Slippery.
That's nothing. Better watch. You're paying for that. You're going down.
Never send a droid to do an assassin's job.
I'll let people scan that in.
What do you mean, incoming? It's a bad case!
Oh, and I missed out on the experience
There's
too.
no
That's a bummer.
escape! I'll chase you across the galaxy if I have to!
Yes. Thanks for making stuff back. How convenient that the door's just wide enough for the ship to go through. It's protected by a force field instead of, you know, the walls of the asteroid.
Hey, Grease. You're famous down
Of
there.
course.
Yeah, they're an ugly group, huh? They smell like used droid oil. At least they're okay.
Yeah, a complication we could have avoided. Luckily, we found you.
We have another complication. The Empire knows about the holocron.
That's not good. The entire mission is now at risk.
And I had a nice chat with the second sister, Trilla.
What did she tell you?
She told me you betrayed her to the Empire. Is it true?
She'll say anything to jeopardize this mission.
Is it true?
She was my apprentice. Before the Purge.
You should have told me.
We're getting an encrypted message from Kashyyyk.
I guess it just wouldn't be an old Jedi if they didn't, you know, bend the truth of it.
Mari,
Cal, we found Tarful, and he is willing to meet you. But that's not all. The
I
Empire
call it the
overran our
Obi-Wan
position at the
trope.
refinery. Saw retreated off-world. Some of us have joined the Wookiee fighters in the forests. Be careful.
you too.
I think someone joined the stream. If someone joined the
Later.
stream, hello. Thank you
Yeah,
for
we're
joining.
late.
Okay, this is fine. Everything is gonna be fine.
Keep telling yourself that, Grease.
Hey, kid. Hey, wake up. Can we talk? What? Can we talk? I don't know what's going on between you and her. I mean, I figure it's some kind of Jedi thing, but I don't think this is the right time for
It's
it.
not any of your business.
I think it's my business. And we're all in this together, aren't we? Hey, Cal. I made a mistake. And I almost got you killed. I'm sorry. I mean, we all make mistakes, right? Well, maybe not you. Hey, why don't you cut her some slack? I'm not saying
that was
do
a
it
good
for me,
apology.
but you two are the best thing that ever happened in my life.
Said he was sorry.
Before you came along, all I cared about was a tight hand on a stiff
Articulated what
heater.
it was that he did wrong.
That's a game term.
I know what it is.
Cal, life's not a game. Before you
This
two,
game
all I
is a
cared
game.
about was myself. Easy money. Now it's different.
Alright, looks like it's time to head back to Kashyyyk. Why don't we go ahead and check out and see how the stream's doing. So we're still in the mid 85s. Oh, looks like it's low 80s. That's fine. Still doing good. Holding on there. I think there was one or two times where it spiked, but you know, those are relatively small hiccups. Depending on their location, they don't seem like they interact with the stream all that much. And since the internet speed's doing really good and everything else is holding up well, I've seen other streamers who have had bigger problems than that. So if the worst part of your stream is a momentary hic, then that's actually a really good stream. Alright, where are we gonna go?
Picking our next destination?
Well, we still
Follow
haven't
your
been
instincts.
to Dathomir. But why don't you say we just stick with the story? We'll just keep running through the storyline, go through the game, see what we
You know,
pick up.
even after all the action you two bring, I still get a thrill watching the games.
And as long as you keep your habits in check.
Oh yeah, no, of course. I'm just a spectator. No gambling or nothing going on.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking pure entertainment. Nothing gets me going more than watching a couple slubs square off. Just slick moves and brute force.
When does this happen?
Captain, I am slightly troubled by your enthusiasm for something so barbaric.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it is true. Totally barbaric, but still kind of entertaining.
Kind of like a Jedi game.
Time to land.
Spend
Get up
most of
here.
your time whacking things with a lightsaber. Well, that was new. Little graphical glitch there. Ooh, I see something shiny. Oop, new planet, new outfit. Actually, let's go and change the lightsaber up too. Oh, looks like we need to talk to the atrium too. Did we get a new plan?
This Roshir looks great, Grease.
Oh, we did.
You know, it's not the origin tree or anything, but it does the job.
I like what you did with the branches.
Huh, thanks, kid. You know, you're all right.
No running on the ship. Grease has rules. Droids off the couch. No running on the ship. Why did we go cyan this time? I know I want to go green because it's all a big green tree planet, but what do you say we go for cyan? Not a lot of water planets in this game. Want to try that? Kind of digging that one. Yeah, let's stick to that one. But I definitely want... Let's try for a new sleeve. You like that? Sure. And because we haven't been able to change the bottom for a while. Ooh. Jet black? Alright. Alright. And yes, you can't tell the difference for anybody who's going to go back and be like, why does it even matter what you do with your lightsaber? You can see it. The colors are noticeable. I've definitely noticed that. So there's more than just the cutscenes. We will change our poncho. Let's go ahead and get back in our camos again. Pop back into the Pathfinder. Not a friendly planet. Need all the camos we can get.
Let's talk later, Cal.
Alright, fine.
Normally, I wouldn't waste my time with the likes of insurgents. But I'm looking for a Jedi Padawan. And I know he's been here. And for that, all of you will suffer.
Joystick and Mari drew a map to your rendezvous point with Tarful.
Where are we supposed to go? Oh. Alright. At least we have the tram for part of it this time. Somebody's pop on in and see. Seriously, anybody's ever done anything electrical as far as wiring machines or wiring houses or anything else like that? Switches don't do that. There's something seriously wrong if you press a button and sparks come flying out of shit. That's not how it's supposed to work. Alright. Alright, so down the elevator and to the left. Where's the elevator? There's over here. Elevator, go down. Down the hole. Which left? Myself a nice little shortcut last time.
Cal, do you read me? Sierra gave me your comm frequency.
Mari, are you okay?
I'm safe, unlike too many of the others. Did Mariana give you our rendezvous coordinates?
She did. I'm on my way.
Good. We're just reaching them now, but we can't stay long. The Empire's looking for us.
I'll be there as soon as I can. Stay close, BD. These things look fast. Thanks, BD.
Michael. Okay. Lovely little save point. Well, we have skill points, so let's go ahead and see what we can do. Oh, I want to. I kind of want lightsaber throw. Ooh, I really want the powerful push. I don't have very many stems. Be nice if they did a lot more and I could use them less often. Tough choices. We're gonna wait. See how far away we are from another skill point. The only way to go. Well, we
under us.
That didn't seem quite right. That was definitely not right. Is there another rope I'm supposed to grab? There is another rope I'm supposed to grab. That was my mistake.
Up there! Move up already! Keep it up! You appear to have no more close range support. That's Stormtrooper. He's dead! He's too solid!
Not even gonna play with you guys. Oh! Look at the shock trooper there. Saving the day.
See you, Jedi. Catch you. Death is near. Faster than anticipated. Cannot defeat me.
Could use a little help, BD.
Thank you, BD. Thank you for opening the door.
Mari, are you there? I'm almost to the Shadowlands, at the wreck of a walker.
Saw a man in...
Why are you shooting me?
Oh, no, no, no.
Now push that one Oh! Why did I not stim? That was so bad. So bad. I'm not playing well right now. It's a good thing nobody's actually watching, right? But everything looks good. The stream's going fine. Drop frames are 0. Still up in 9,000 KBS. Oh, Josh.
Huge and dark, and there's creatures everywhere. I don't know. We were never trained for this.
Trying to play too fast or something. I don't know.
Can you imagine what they do? Go get him!
I was like, you gonna notice your buddy's gone?
Smash him!
Here, dude.
Fire at will! Not gonna shoot him! Hit him! Blasting again! Is anyone there? You can't run from us!
Seriously. It worked so well last time. They're just bouncing off walls.
Won't get me!
I totally jumped at the right time.
I'll break your guard!
I need some help.
There you are. Give me a fight! Is a Jedi? I'm injured!
Wow.
Is running all you do?
No, but falling off ledges is apparently something I do pretty well.
Your turn! Watch my back. Almost down.
Little help, BD.
Jedi's recovering. Hope reinforcements are on the way.
time for that one. But what do we got here? Light flash. Oh, come on! Thank you. Got robbed. Totally got robbed. No, ooh. He hopped over something. What was it? Okay, there we go.
Let's look.
Looks like we're hitting a couple 100% spikes. Oh, we're supposed to go that way. And that just leads back around. Alright. Oh, was there a door I did not take? There was definitely a door I did not take. Oh. Shortcut. Nah, whatever. Like I said, not trying to 100% this or anything. There, if that's what you're looking for, you can totally check out YouTube. They'll have something. Yes, let's just see. Hey, we got our 3 skill points, so what do you say we go ahead and... Oh, I can't throw a lightsaber because I don't have sprint strike. Well, now I definitely just am upset. I totally want saber throw, even though I'm probably rarely ever gonna use it. But I see something shiny and I want to see the shiny.
Keep going! We're almost to the Shadowlands!
Because no.
Something smells. What is that?
Dude.
Hey! This whole forest is live.
Woo-woo.
Let's look.
Jaw plant. Undina's flytraps get overgrown. Oh, more shinies.
This isn't a discussion. Leaving Kashyyyk is our only chance for survival.
I won't abandon the Wookiees. I'll take any fighters who want to stay.
Then you'll be left behind. Troops, move out!
Come on. We're going to find Tarful.
And that's why you can still see Saw Gerrera in Rogue One. Which I liked. I thought Rogue One was a lot of fun. That was a really good story. Ooh. Yay! I like new seeds. I want to fill that
Hope these
thing
don't
up,
freak
but
Grease out.
I'm fairly certain I will miss a few. Am I supposed to go this way? Well, there's something that goes this way, and it's not towards the objective. And yet, I'm still going.
Something about this place. It's sacred to them.
Ooh. Purge Trooper.
I see you, Jedi. You can break through. I will prevail. Can't elude me. You won't escape. You will die.
Later, Purge Trooper, but this doesn't. Oh, of course. Ow. Ow! Hate those plants. Hate those plants. Nope, 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 nope. Stay away. Totally take spiders and slugs. No.
Toss me one, BD.
Take that stem, put it on me. Back away. There's our skill point. Where's my save point? Start throwing that stuff around.
They can't breach our choke point!
Everyone, retreat! We'll cover you!
Never a happy story with those echoes. I'd have totally turned away from the Force too. Everything I touch is sad.
Ever seen a place like this before? Me neither.
And there's our save point. Thank you very much. Throw my lightsaber. See some stuff off in the distance. That'll probably be totally worth it. That's right. And will probably not look that cool when I do it in game. Alright, what do we got over here? Nope. Let me see what's back here. Woo-woo. What are you woo-wooing? I'll let you scan it. What? Well, I can't go underwater yet. Oh, is that what that is? I can climb out. That's important. Ow. That was parrying. I don't know what they're talking about. something else to suck on.
These trees. You feel the force all around this place.
Oh, hey. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Playing a little Star Wars. Doing it on an average PC. Streaming it on a very old crappy PC. Woo-woo. What are you woo-wooing? Come on, buddy. What are you trying to woo-woo?
Hang on!
Find evil alien slugs. Ow.
Stim BD!
Losing to evil alien slugs. Slow down. There we go. What do we got here? Another echo. There are a lot of echoes right here, man.
Is that? It's him!
I'm glad they could tell the difference from one rookie roar to another. I sure can't. Alright, where am I supposed to be going? Well, there's a way out that way and that. This way? I guess the tunnel. I love the convenience of
That's where we're supposed to meet Tarful.
Built-in platforming mechanics. Where? Oh, there's Tarful. I can barely see him. There's something else over here. No. All right. All right. Let's do this. Where am I supposed to go? What the hell? Guess I swam to the back for nothing. Oh, thank you. Those things can be such a pain in the ass. Oh. But I already have that chest. Nope, I already have that chest. Okay, so I'm supposed to go over there. How do I get up there? Can I get up that route? Is that what I'm supposed to do? No, we already went that way. I guess I'm supposed to go up that? No. Oh, there's a rope and a ledge and a bouncy thing over there. Alright, my bad. Rope, ledge, bouncy thing over there. Alright. See if this will be a shortcut back. Nope. Oh, because I don't have double jump. Now I gotta swim all the way back. This is what happens when you don't see the skin. Oh. It's up. It's up. Oh, it'll be so nice when I could double jump. Yeah, see, I didn't see it. But I did this time. Nice roll.
Glad you made it. This is Chieftain Tarful.
I'm on a mission from Master Eno Cordova. He was looking for a Zepho artifact. Finding it could help save the Jedi.
was pretty grateful when
Cordova
he
found
one.
wisdom at the top of the origin tree. You should seek answers there.
It's massive. I don't even know where to start.
Well, you might be able to find a way up through its root system, but most of it's underwater. You'll need this breather.
How does that make any sense? Get up through the roots.
Thank you. What will you all do now?
No.
The only thing we can. Keep fighting.
Good luck. Hope we meet again.
Noticed his braids before. Too bad they don't have their ceremonial bowcasters. Nope. Gotta stick them with some Imperial blasters. Oh well. Alright, so now I can go underwater. Is there something up here? No. And of course I have no idea if I'm going the right direction. Yes, left top to climb. Oh good, so this wasn't a total waste. Another drink.
The Wookiee took shelter here, mourning the loss of an elder.
And that's all that's in here? Oh, don't worry. I guess Wookiees can hold their breath pretty good then. You'd think with all that fur it would be pretty hard to swim, but they're pretty strong. Rip arms off stuff. If anybody in the chat is watching the Book of Boba Fett, it's not really a spoiler, but someone does get their arms ripped off. It's rather entertaining. That's where I'm supposed to go. Scan, of course. What are you scanning, buddy? Oh. That is. I was wondering where all the stormtroopers on this planet were. Dude, seriously, stop shooting.
Not even Tarful could keep them out forever. They won't stop until everyone's wiped out.
Slug puke is not. Ow. Giant slug with ram horns. Who thinks this stuff up? I think game designers should get paid a fairly decent amount of money, but still. What evolutionary process actually brought about giant slugs with horns? That just says something about the planet you're on. Oh, thank goodness. Not falling off ledges anymore. Just have these wonderful things. No. Thank you. And I am glad that the evolutionary process allowed that thing to only catch.
Those things give me creeps.
Whoa,
strong words coming from you.
I did not mean to drop down that second time. That's what happens. And again, hello to whoever is watching. Feel free to engage in the chat. I am peeking over to see if I'm missing anything. Oh man.
Pursuing the Jedi.
Rocket launcher.
He's picking us off. Just give me a minute.
Have I mentioned I'm not a pro at this game? I'm not a pro at this game. I like it. It's fun. Got a great story to it. I want the shiny thing. How do I get to the shiny thing? Oh, that was not smart. That was not at all what I was intending to do. That works.
Stim here, BD. Oh, great
Been a
timing.
little bit without a save point, hasn't it? I've definitely been missing stuff in the water. If you do go back and play the game, which I recommend that you do, see, like, there's crates and other things that are here under the water. I'm not looking for them. I've found most of those things already in previous playthroughs, but they're mostly lightsaber components, clothing outfits, alternative skins for characters, and 81, things like that.
Do you think the Empire would have come after Kashyyyk so hard if we hadn't intervened?
No.
The Jedi are supposed to be symbols of hope, but I led the Inquisition here.
Yes,
Mari and Tarful put their trust in me. Did I just endanger them again?
Oh, thank you, thank you. Alright. Well, one skill point isn't going to get us a whole lot of anything, but we're just going to go ahead and rest and save and keep on pressing on through this tree. Which I'm sure is a tree, I think. Like, there's the tree over there. So are we not there yet? It's crazy. Alright. Wall around. I like it.
Hostile, get ready. Visitor. I'm gonna shoot him. Yes, more power. Yes, fight me.
Wow. This guy's pretty intense. He is really wanting to do this.
Stop dodging and fight. Gonna take a hit. How's it feel?
Oh, I dodged
You're
that
no
parry, whatever
match.
it's called.
Not yet, Jedi.
Yeah, you get your scan on, BD. That guy was intense.
Good scan, BD.
Give a guy a big hammer, all of a sudden he gets all kinds of like, yeah. Alright, so we got that crate over there. We're gonna go that way. Means I won't get 100% map completion, but then again, I got gold for 100% map completion. Hey, why can't I run anymore? It's not my show. Oh, this isn't good.
What's this? A Brocca scrap rat playing Jedi. I told the Grand Inquisitor you wouldn't be stupid enough to show your face here again, especially after we wiped out that feeble resistance. Love it when I'm wrong.
Alright, see, that's what I'm talking about. At least someone's like, I'm on a ship, I'm just gonna blast your ass. didn't work against him, but way to subvert my expectations. Totally thought they were gonna jump down and have a boss fight, but no. Big guns. I dig it.
Hang on!
Oh, am I not? Oh, I'm not supposed to go up and I'm not supposed to go up. No, we're good. I will fall down the sliding bit. See, that's what happens when you don't jump after a whole group of things where you don't have to jump. Like all this, don't have to jump. It's just automatic. You do have to jump for that. How does this get me to the top of the tree? This is not getting me to the top of the tree. This is me sliding down a butt ton of mud. Okay, now it looks like it's in the tree. That's kind of hopeful.
What is that thing?
They're growing big in Kashyyyk.
The Ninth is searching for us. I should call. On second thought. She listens to their transmissions.
For the path to the
Better find out on her own.
Well, now I found the path to the origin tree, so... This is not going up through the roots. This is just me swimming under shit. Alright. That's a lot of scary bugs. Again, do not have... Well, let's see what's available for one skill point. No. No? Oh. I guess that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead, we'll do it. It's one. It's fine. Blast stuff when I'm running. That's kind of helpful. Doesn't go right back at him, but doesn't hit me. Not the worst thing in the world. Hello, big spider. Oh, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Oh, 2 spiders and 3 spiders in this line. Hello. Yeah, that's right, Cal. This stuff hurts. Oh, I timed that parry.
Hey, BB.
That thing said don't climb down ledges. Ah, I timed that wrong. I timed that one wrong.
Sim, BD. Ooh.
I don't know how that didn't knock me off the ledge, but I'll happens when you roll I think the terminology right. There you go.
Throw me a stim, BD. Can I get a stim, BD1? Just in time.
Probably should have used more force peppers. Might have been. Ah, I thought I could be slick and fight it the right way. Like that. Oh, I guess I can just wall run and get up here. Is there anything up here? No force echo? No nothing? Something's alright. Oh, there's a tunnel over there. What are you doing, Super? Find out. There's a force echo here. That's helpful.
For generations, the Wookiees made a pilgrimage to the top. The tree guided them.
And trees grow straight up, so sure. Is that it? That's not feel like it. Oh, cool. So I mean, I got.
I think Grease is gonna like this one. Let's just hope it doesn't get too tall.
Get the scan, get the experience points. Oh, hey. Where did it take me? Okay, but why did I go up here? Oh, that's why.
This stormtrooper was dragged here by some type of creature. And scary out there, BD.
So is that it? Looks like that was it. Great. Oh, great. Because I'm down to my last, and I climb up all the way. I have no idea if this is the right way, but it feels like the right way. Till I do something dumb like that. Thought I was over a ledge. Don't judge me. Yeah, see, there's a ledge off to the left. Thought I was over it. Didn't realize I had to jump over to it.
Shh. We don't know if it's friendly. That's the thing that took down the Night Sister.
Yeah. it's pretty cool looking.
Oh.
Again, it does seem kind of pissed though. What do we got over here? Ooh.
My friend, as Tarful led us here, he spoke of a glorious creature called the Shio bird.
I wish they would have finished out the voice acting on him. I love that voice actor as far as character actors go. Alright, Cal's tripping. Flashback.
Get up. Try again.
Just keep failing, Master.
Do you? Good. Keep failing. Keep getting back up. That is the only way to succeed. Do not allow yourself to be weighed down by ego and pretense. Let go of what you fear to lose and rise up.
Good advice.
Now, again.
I mean, for people who aren't Jedis. Ah, grab
Good. Now reach my position. You can do it.
Hey, double jump. Woo! Love double jump.
Just gotta keep getting back up, ED. As long as we get back up, we're still in this fight.
Oh, thank you, sweet,
Finally
sweet
back
save.
to where I was before the purge.
See, now we're back to where we were before the purge. But it took a great Jedi in order to reach, BD in that very first level. Alright, so now we got new Force stuff. Delay thrust does not sound enjoyable. So yeah, I need 2 for that. Why are you all shot? Oh, because you were new. That's what it was. Alright, well, we can't get anything. But we definitely want to rest. And we're a little over an hour into the stream, so I am so glad that I have one viewer. You are awesome. Thank you very much. But about halfway through the stream, I like to take a break and give it a few minutes, refill drinks, or go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. So I will be about 5 minutes or so, and I will be right back. And in the meantime, there is a picture of one of my favorite places to visit and some lovely free music provided by YouTube, which is totally cool and doesn't get me in any trouble at all. All right, so again, just a few minute break, and I'll be right back. Thank you. And I'm back. I lost my audience, but that's okay. Gonna keep streaming for about another hour and a half or so, or until I get to a decent point in the gameplay, at least. You know, that makes sense to kind of stop. That's why we ran a little long last time. And if we need to, we'll run a little long or we'll run a little short, but we'll see where we get to this point. But let's go ahead and check out the stream status and see how we're doing here. Fortunately, we're still at 0 drop frames, which is great. We're at 9 to 10,000 KB per second. That's awesome. This is all what OBS says. Now, the CPU usage, I think, might actually be a representation of what OBS is actually using. So if, depending on what your setup is and stuff like that, if you're using OBS to monitor what your usage is, you should probably also try to have a good idea of what the other stuff is using. Because I have, you know, a web browser with YouTube and the stream going on, so I can monitor that. I have another screen that's got the task manager is actually running OBS, and then it's also doing the encoding onto it as well. That's why I keep mentioning that I'm running an FX 6300, which is just a 3-core 4-thread process, or 3-core 6-thread, twice as many processor. And why I have that shown, so that you can, you know, see and get an idea and gauge, you know, will my CPU be able to do it? Will my computer be able to do it? Can I take my laptop, maybe just run a, you know, HDMI out and run into another monitor or a TV screen or whatever, so that I can, you know, dual monitor that way. Or, you know, you can, and again, you can do this all on single. I'm running like 3 monitors or something. It's actually like 2 TVs and a monitor, but regardless, I have like 3 screens. So if you see me like looking up one way, I'm checking out OBS. If I'm looking out the other way, I'm checking out YouTube. And I'm trying to keep an eye not only on the chat, but how is the performance of the PC itself doing? Am I overtaxing it? Does it look really funny? There's a difference between what appears on my screen for gameplay and then what appears on OBS and then what appears on the live stream itself. And of course, there's a delay on the live stream for YouTube. So, and I'm completely new at this. This is all, you know, completely new to me. So I'm trying to monitor that and give people an example of what they can expect when they're running these things. That's why I have a lot up on the screen. You know, a more traditional game view might be something like this, where you just have a big screen gameplay, little, you know, picture of you somewhere in the corner. You know, bottom left might actually be good. I think a lot of first-person shooters do that to cover over things like names and maps, whatever, you know, HUDs and stuff like that that aren't really, you know, the viewers really want to watch. They want to see kill shots or whatever else. This is a much more common one, and you can see it really doesn't have any effect on the you know, the CPU or the stream processor or anything else like that. It doesn't make it more intense, and it doesn't make it less intense. The reason why I, you know, generally run my streams with this screen is, and I see some other streamers do this, where they have, you know, the ability for you to see the entire streaming gameplay without it being covered up by anything. And I can go a little bit bigger, but I'm also wanting to be apparent about what hardware I'm using. This stuff is budget stuff. You can go on Amazon or Newegg, filter price by lowest, and these are some of the first things that are going to pop up. That capture card is incredibly common, and when I say that capture card, what I'm talking about is something that has that as an image for it. There's, you know, several people that are selling it. There's one place that's making it, and they're, you know, making them, and, you know, for 25 to 40 bucks, depending on what retailer you want to give your money to. And I'm not talking about like Amazon or Newegg. I'm talking about, you know, Digitech or something like that. You know, I don't even know what the names of these other companies are, but they're just retailers. They're buying them from this one manufacturing place or, you know, company that's having a contract manufacturer build this board, you know, and put it together. So how much of a markup are they trying to get off of it to cover their expenses and sell these things? So find the cheapest one, buy two. You know, because if it's cheap, there's, you know, one of two things are kind of gonna be sacrificed. How long is it gonna work, or how well is it gonna work? So if it works well, you can kind of bet that it's probably not gonna last very long, and it might break at any given time. The cables are probably perfectly fine, so, you know, at $25 you can still buy two and be paying a third of what you would for something like an Elgato capture card. So if one of them all of a sudden stops working in the middle of a stream, you just grab the other one, plug everything in, and you can keep on going. Or you can end your stream, and the next day or the next time that you would usually stream, slap another one in. You don't have to wait for shipping. Go on Amazon afterwards and order another one. You can wait a week. Why? Because you bought two. And at $25 or $30 a piece, again, you can buy two of them and be paying half or a third of what you would pay for some kind of Elgato or EVGA card or something like that. There's really only a few places that are making them. They're good. Elgato capture cards are amazing, and they give you a lot of really great options. But if you're just starting out and you're trying to get all this stuff together and build an audience, things like that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this capture card. I've had so few problems with it, and they've never occurred during stream. So I've been really impressed with this, you know, capture card. It for $60 or less. I think I paid 40. I see 25 to 40 on the stream. I believe I paid $40 for this, and it's worked great. On occasion, I'll even leave it as a passer, so when I'm not streaming, everything's still hooked up the same as if I was streaming. And only on rare occasions will I get a blackout on the screen that lasts for 1 to 2 seconds and is right back in again. And that's the only issues that I've had. You can go back and check out my streams. I've got, like 12 hours almost of stream time put in on this capture card, and any of the hiccups that you see, you can see that the CPU, at least on 5 of them, you can see that the CPU was what was getting maxed out. It was taking in far too much on inputs, and for some reason wasn't able to do really well, and that's mainly because of the main PC. It was, you know, having drop frames and things like that, which when translated through the capture card just didn't look great. But for the most part, you know, that second stream on, I got a few changes in the settings. I lowered a couple of the settings, you know, from something like very fast to fast or something. It basically says, you know, whatever equals less CPU. And I chose it and, you know, dropped that one down, and I adjusted the audio to what YouTube said they want their audio at. And things have been working really well. I've been really happy with all of the results. It looks really good on the stream. It looks good on playback. It seems to work fine when it's doing it. And I just really couldn't be happier with it. And like I said, I'm, you know, given as much information as I absolutely can. You can even monitor the, you know, FPS. Was it all the way down? I'm not even going to try to point. I'm not good at that. Down in the bottom right-hand corner of the gameplay screen, you can see the FPS that I'm averaging on the game itself. So if you notice like big drops in those, you probably can look down and over to the task manager and see that the CPU all of a sudden gets this 100% on all core spike, and you might have some stutter in the audio. It passes quickly, thankfully, and we're back into it again. It's just those things don't necessarily correlate well. So look at your gameplay, and you know, before you stream, I guess if we're going to figure out a tip along the way, would be do some gameplay and make sure that you're able to hold really solid FPS that's consistent through the whole thing. Play around with your settings. Don't necessarily trust the GeForce Experience settings. Get the best that you can that holds you at 1080-60 or 1440, whatever your resolution on your system is that you're playing. Try to make sure you're there. If you're on a console, you're a console game. There's, you know, maybe you can go through and adjust a few settings, maybe you can't. But that's what you should really be trying to do. And again, this setup is intended to be a proof of concept for someone who maybe has a console and they want to get into streaming, and they think that they have to go buy this whole all-in-one system to start out streaming. No, you don't. If you're a console player and you want to stream your console, you totally can. There are a lot of streamers out there who, you know, because they have accounts and they have their games on their Xbox or their PS, you know, PS1, or not one, but PS4, PS5 now, they're streaming with it. They're streaming it through their system, but they're still streaming it through, they're still playing their console, they still have their controller, they're not keyboarding anything, and you can totally do that. And you don't have to have some baller system to do it. You don't have to necessarily even have an NVIDIA graphics card. That's the other thing I'm trying to demonstrate here. Graphics card prices are absolutely insane. I have a 1650 Super in my gaming rig, the system that I'm currently playing this game with. It's a budget graphics card. It's the newest budget graphics card that NVIDIA released, so it's I think it might be almost 2 years old at this point. That card retailed for less than $180. It is just as good as the AMD card that just got released only a couple weeks ago. And right now, to try to buy my graphics card new is over $300 for a card I picked up for less than $180. That kind of markup is absolutely insane, and it's only because of the current market. So demonstrating a streaming system that utilizes the CPU as opposed to an NVIDIA graphics card was also one of the things I was trying to accomplish. But I'm rambling, and there's gameplay to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and have another drink, keep my fingers crossed that somebody logs in and, you know, watches it. I lost my audience member. I love you for watching as long as you did. Thank you. That was cool. You know, and I got a like, so yay. That's my first like. Only took me 5 videos. Or 5 streams to get a like. But I dig my like spike, so I'm totally fine with that. We'll go from there. So let's go back and let's start playing and being a Jedi.
T'Pol died.
Alright. Here, rope. Nope, we won't jump that first time. Ooh. So I keep hearing clicking, and you know, I'm sure there's some options. Oh,
it's hurt. Think we can help it?
Where are you going? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. No. Anything else? Okay. Sense echo.
Tarful, my old friend. I understand now. This tree connects the core of the planet to the sky.
I wanted him to read out the whole thing. You can go in, and there's a, you know, a much longer one. And of course, these are really short, which is, yeah. But either way, I liked the actor that plays Eno Cordova. I like the, if anybody's a fan of Stargate SG-1, which I was, I actually owned the DVD box sets. I think I might still have them in a box somewhere. Before streaming was a thing, DVD box sets were what you did if you loved a show. I had Star Trek The Next Generation and Stargate. A couple other series. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm glad nobody was logged in to watch that. Oh, okay, fine. Okay, I think there's something else up here. I mean, I don't need that crate, but... No? No? Alright. Fine. Waste my time. No, grab on! Grab on! Thank you. Heart attack now. Should we try to jump over to that thing? Maybe we'll come back to it. Oh! Cool, because I touched it.
Making a new friend?
Well, there's the monkey guys. Cool. Alright. So... like it when it glitches in my favor. Oh, there was a chest, but I already have the chest, so... yay for me. Is there a sucky thing? Or sucko, whatever? Oh, I can jump down that way. Can I jump over that way?
From the Clone Wars. The war never ended here. Everything we did any of it matter?
I think if you were to say, did any of it matter from the Clone Wars, and I'm sorry, you're going to go into lore nerding and things like that. Alright, computer. Stop maxing out at 100%. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Why'd I fall off? Oh, cool. But, you know, from the Clone Wars into... it brought war to Kashyyyk, which prepared an entire planet's culture for fighting and war and exposure to a larger galaxy that's probably hostile to most things. I understand that they got turned into slaves, and part of that is really tragic, but if you read some of the expanded universe stuff, they do liberate the planet and things like that. So, you know, did any of it matter? Did the wars matter? They were screwed the moment, you know, large governments, military set foot on their planet, you know. Still not enough skill points. And my health isn't low enough to warrant actually resetting those. No negative effect. Alright, get high. Now they're able to get creative with this whole wall running thing. Oh, hey buddy. What's going on down here? What's up? This is probably not a bright idea. The thing would eat me in one bite.
I can help it, but we have to be careful. I don't want to spook it. Hey! It's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We're friends, understand? Friends. It's okay. It's a piece of the Night Sister's ship. We need to remove it. This is gonna hurt, okay?
It's gonna hurt a lot.
Sorry. Thanks, BD.
Back up.
Here you go.
Wasn't this the lion and the thorn in the paw?
It's the least we could do.
Anybody else remember this? Or was that a parable or something? Hey, is it gonna give me a ride up to the top? Oh, okay, so there's something up there that I probably got, but let's make sure there isn't a force echo. Ooh. Oh, you're gonna scan? Hey, I'll take the scan, it's experience.
My friend, never have I seen a view more exquisite than atop this tree.
It is gonna be a pretty impressive view. I think the only more impressive views I've seen, and only because I haven't played the most recent one, is in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Creed's always kind of, you know, done the whole spin around and show off the scenery. But when they got to Odyssey, that was really something impressive. I'll admit, I have Origins and I haven't played it yet.
You're giving us a lift?
But Odyssey was pretty impressive. I assume that the newest one, which by all accounts looks very impressive too. I just honestly haven't gotten to a point where I had the money and it was on sale at the same time.
There's still so much the Empire has
It's a relatively expensive game, and I would rather have the Gold Edition, which unlocks all the content and all the story. I could get the base game for a reasonable price, but I'd rather just get the whole thing for something that's well worth it. One of the best representations of Kashyyyk. This is an impressive view. But I mean, when the trees grow big enough for you to grow, you know, build houses in, then you probably need a big ass bird to get you above it so that you can just see how impressive it is. Thanks, buddy. Ooh. What do we got here? No.
Good scan, BD.
No. Oh. Wait. We're not upgrading BD, so... What are we getting? Yes. Okay, so it's double-bladed lightsaber time. Do we want to build a Darth Maul lightsaber? Because we can. You can switch back and forth, double, single. this new lightsaber sleeve that I already have. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll do a Darth Maul. Let's see if we can't do a Darth Maul lightsaber. See, and now both the hilt ends look fine. So now we should be able to actually make like real looking hilts. Okay. So, we've already done... We've done straight purple. Do we want to do red? Or do we want to do... like... Alright, so we said Darth Maul. We said Darth Maul, so we're going to make the Darth Maul lightsaber. So, what's Darth Maul-ish? Is it that one? Yep, looks like it's looking like that one. If I remember, we're just going by memory here. So, what was his like? That's looking pretty close. I don't know. Okay, let's do the sleeve and then we'll go to the next part, because I think the middle part's pretty important. If we're trying to say this is Darth Maul's. This is looking pretty Darth Maul-like. Okay, I'm digging on the those, but I don't like that those don't line up. Okay, that's looking pretty... That's looking pretty Darth Maul-like, but... I think I really like that one. I think that's looking like a Darth Maul. Now the switch... I mean, that one almost, like, makes perfect sense, but matches too much. No. Definitely no. Maybe? That's pretty close. Okay, so this one or this one. I think it's like this one. Alright, and we gotta stick with the matte black. We want to go with something a little more charcoal. I think this one's a little more on this line. What's this? Nurium. Uranium. No. Bright yellow? Just go red all the way around? Like red, no. Too red, too tacky. Cerakote? Yeah, we'll go with the Cerakote. What do you say? Alright. I like pretty Darth Maul. Looks pretty Darth Maul to me. Alright.
Looking for something?
You're beeping, so what's up, man? It's gonna beep its shit? Randomly beep its shit? Ah, okay. Keep walking forward, I gotcha.
At last, I found my quarry. The Astrium. Used by the Zepho sages millennia ago. I hold in my hand a piece of galactic history. Oh, I will never be able to thank Tarful enough. Do you know what this means, my friend? No need to return to Dathomir. Darkness clouded every attempt at finding the Astrium inside Kujit's tomb, but the Force has provided a new path.
Kuch's tomb.
So, thankfully, there are 2 keys. I thought I saw something shiny back this. Oh, it is that way. Okay, so that's what I saw. Just make sure there isn't anything else the other way around. We are definitely meditating this time. Does anybody else think that enough important things have happened to warrant, I don't know, a boss fight? I mean, they teased one already. buddy. What's up? Had to find the right spot, apparently. Hey! Oh, yeah.
Found you again.
You're done hurting this world.
I don't know what's got second sister thinking you're so important. She likes her souvenirs, but I'm not in it for the memories, and honestly, you're not worth my time. So let's make this quick.
Well, if I'm not worth your time, then why are you still sticking around? Because you're still sticking around.
You're not winning this. I'd be scared of me too.
Sorry if I'm not talking a lot, but fighting and talking and staring somewhere else, not super helpful.
Not
I think
bad
I'm doing
for
pretty good
trash.
so far.
What
Hey,
about for a Jedi?
what's up with calling me trash all the
Is
time?
there a difference?
Someone doesn't like Jedi's. Gotcha. What do we got here?
No train to save you this time.
Help, please.
Didn't even break the skin. Feel safe behind that saber? That's one for me.
Okay,
I need a
I'm
stim,
trying
BD.
not to dodge out of the way too soon, and instead I dodge out of the way. Okay, new button. New button. We got a new button. Come on. Come on. You're gonna do something that's gonna suck, so what is it gonna be?
I'd be scared of me too.
You're twice my size. Dang it!
Little help, BD.
No.
Help, BD.
That was nothing.
It was clearly something. Ow.
BD.
That was out of force when she just did something. Ow. I wasn't far enough away. That's kind of crap. What are we doing? What are we doing? Almost got this. Almost got this.
No train to save you this time.
Come on. Play smart, Don't be dumb. Just wait it out, back off. Oh. Oh, come on, say that's it, say that's it, say that's it. I'm pressing X. I'm still pressing X.
It's over.
First try.
Being an Inquisitor taught me no setback is too great. When you've already lost yourself, a limb's easy.
Gal.
You know, I was a
Gal.
Jedi. It'd be fun to bring you in. Watch you rot like the rest of us! Oh, angers you. Just wait till the isolation, torture, mutilation, and your breath! I won't let you touch them! You can't stop the Empire!
I can stop you.
We just took down an Inquisitor. Hey!
Well, there's
thought
at
you were
least
dead.
8 more. And no,
Glad
you
you're
don't
okay.
find the other 8 in this
We should
game.
get back. Seer and Grease are expecting us.
If you're interested in any of the other Inquisitors, go ahead and watch Star Wars Rebels on Paramount. No, Disney Plus. Sorry, there's way too many streaming channels now. But yeah, go check it out on Disney Plus. They have the other Inquisitors there. I like that they're bringing a lot of this stuff in, cross stories. Hey, we got a couple of points. You're gonna go ahead and pick up the gives me back. No, you know what? Let's do this one. Not Howling Pole, not Howling. Oh, I guess that's 3. Never mind then. We're gonna get more. Yep. Because I haven't found more stems. I've done better than that. But that's what you get when you're kind of just going through the game on a stream while you're playing. You know, so. Oh, Admiral! Hey! Thank you. Yes, it was rather intense. I'm actually surprised I beat that on the first time. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. Was wondering if you were going to make it. I've already had one break. My Tuesday streams I start a little earlier just because it is the work week. So I start these at 6 my time. So I guess that's 5 Pacific for now. But I'm in Arizona, so it'll shift periodically throughout the year. But yeah, that's I specifically remember playing this game before, and I don't know how many times it took for me to finally beat her, to the point where it was, you know, like, okay, am I gonna have to drop the difficulty settings for this fight? This is a new area. That crate doesn't look open, which is really weird, because I swear I've opened almost all the crates. But there's like 1 or 2 different outfits, I think. Oh, nope, it is open. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright. Let's go ahead and get out of this. So how you doing, Admiral Paco? You said you were gonna work on a video. You were gonna be doing the shooting and whatnot recently. Did that go okay for you? Oh, well, you have perfect timing then, because I came back from my break and just kind of rambled about, you know, dumbass PC parts and stuff, so great timing on the comeback in. You didn't get to watch me forget to jump on stuff and whatnot, which I had a tendency to do that round.
Something?
Ow, but I got them all. I did not get group push onto them. Which is my mistake. That looked like that was a spider. I was parrying. Again, I'm parrying. Bye bye, buddy. Oh, now you want to scan this?
Let's look.
Well, good luck on it. Yeah, I was actually had some problems with my car today, so I was thinking I was going to utilize some time and write a script.
Flipping.
Draw stim.
This time.
Didn't end up doing it. It was my mistake. But I'm a big fan of editing and going back and looking over one side. So do you memorize or do you teleprompter?
Last long.
Oh, alright. That one's moving.
Hey, BD.
Now, right? Guess I can. Oh, I guess I've already been here. In a previous game.
Oh, it's you.
Later. It is me, and bye-bye. There's a, yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, missed this last time. Oh, that's convenient. I do not have a teleprompter, and that's one of the things that I know would be helpful, especially with script writing. My degree is in communication, is what I got my bachelor's degree in. So public speaking is something that you did in a number of the classes that I was in. So they tended to be unscripted. There were a couple that were. Then there were specifically classes where you did intentional, like, I forget what it was specifically called, but it's essentially, dramatic reading is what it was. And those were, I liked those classes. They were a lot of fun. Yeah, that's great. And like I said, with a degree in public speaking, not specifically public speaking, but with my degree in
Let's get him.
communication,
It's all over
giving
now.
speeches that are unscripted was rather common because a lot of your stuff is just PowerPoint, whatever else. Which, is great for a live stream. It definitely helped in that aspect, but I feel comfortable giving, speaking during a stream, things like that. I'm still a little self-conscious. I'm a little rusty. It's been a bit since I got my degree. But for something scripted, which I think my videos, deserve, I would definitely love a teleprompter. And I know there are ways that you can go through and kind of turn, like, laptops and other screens into, like little teleprompters and stuff like that. Alright, where am I trying to go? Oh, back to my ship. Isn't there a quick, easy way? Yeah. There's a quick, easy way. What does this do? And it depends on what your focus for your communication major is. The positive side is you will definitely be doing a number of presentations. The kind of flip side of that is they're very structured. They're usually very short because you have very limited time with which to get everybody in the class through a topic and things like that. So the benefit is brevity. You really have to learn how to break it down. As a matter of fact, I remember one of my classes, it was something ridiculously short. It was something like 3 minutes or 5 tops, which you think, oh, 5 minutes, that's super easy. But it had to be one of the subjects that you just couldn't go through and do on a really short kind of basis. Plus you would need to have a couple examples to cite, things like that. So there's definitely benefits in that one. So for video making, it's helpful in that aspect of saying like, okay, YouTube's algorithm is preferential to videos of this length, which we connected through Jessie's channel, and she talks a lot about how
that's a brawler droid processing unit. You thinking what I'm thinking?
She talks about how her videos run very long and how she appreciates the people that actually watch and stick with it, because YouTube's big about watch time and things like that. So she talks about brevity, and I kind of wanted to reach out and say, hey, do you want to send me a sample script that you want me to cut down to a specific time length? I made, because I can't edit for shit. At least not yet. And that's the part that really frustrates me. I'm not sure if you've gone to my channel and looked at, what kind of content I actually have on there. But I have made, one like Star Trek video that I put out probably over a year ago. That is not boss fight. Oh,
You have survived!
Controlling the area.
Get it! Solid contact!
I am not doing this well.
It's dodgy! Took a hit! Taking the shot!
I won't fall down.
Toss me one, BD.
Need more open space. Oh, you're not going to jump off the edge?
Firing!
I hear you! Target's hurt!
Watch your eyes! After it!
Oh, slipped up!
How did you keep... No, that's wrong.
Taking
So
aim.
wrong.
We'll
Ow.
bleed you dry.
Get it!
This is really terrible.
Come on, Jedi.
No, I was totally blocking. Oh, damn
Job's
it.
done.
That's what I get for overestimating my capabilities and forgetting that bounty hunters pop up at random times in this. Do you live in the States? Because the only people that I remember that are that call it university usually are, in like UK or something like that. Or East Coast. East Coast? Remember, but there's no bad guys here. Okay. Figured they would have given it back, but okay. Yeah, I remember they pop up periodically afterwards and they get harder each time, and that's perfectly fine. I should have that. Those two dumb blaster bolts. They should have been bounced back. I would have had him. Minnesota. Okay. And I'll be honest, I've heard some people do it. I tend to notice that those on the West Coast are tend to go more college as opposed to university, while I guess the more center east you end up going. And UK, that's all university. Like, there's several channels that I watch, and they're always like, "Oh yeah."
Cordova believed the key to the vault is on Dathomir.
You find your Wookiee?
Yep. Things are bad down there. Empires everywhere.
Inquisitors?
Trilla, the second sister, is gone for now, but she's still chasing us. I defeated the ninth sister.
Still nonchalantly. Yeah. I didn't notice this until someone else pointed this out, but Greece is like, has a lot of salt. I'm assuming that's just some kind of space seasoning.
Cal, when
and
I was
not
captured
like,
by the Empire,
a deadly
I
amount of
resisted.
salt or anything.
I swore to myself that I would die before I would talk.
More salt.
But then this dark shadow
Oversalting the space stakes. It's just not cool.
It was worse than any nightmare I could have imagined, and I still fought. But in the end, I came apart. And I gave them Trilla. And I know there's nothing I can do to make that right. But Cal, there's still a chance we can save the others on the holocron.
Okay, look. The ninth sister said something about becoming an Inquisitor like it's inevitable. But you went through the same thing she did, and you didn't join them.
Cal.
It's okay, Seer. We'll find Cordova's.
See, even BD1's
get your
like, dude,
lasers off
you
my
got
lunch."
too much seasoning on there? You sure? I think BD's just looking out for you there, buddy. That is a lot of salt. He just keeps it going. Alright. We're gonna go some... Oh, I got new plants.
He's worked his magic.
There we go. 2 new. Always like the new plants. So, supposed to head to Dathomir, but... Okay, so if we're heading to Dathomir, I'm gonna change the poncho to something a little more stylish. And we'll give ourselves a new outlaw outfit. New lightsaber. Went with the Darth Maul lightsaber because we recently just got the double-bladed one, but let's... We're going to Dathomir, kind of a dark side place. So I say we go a little Mace Windu on it. Like the power control, we'll switch it to gold. We'll stick with that for a while. There we go.
Picking our next destination.
Yes. I could definitely use more stims, but
Setting course for Wait a minute. You want to go to Dathomir?
I think I
I'm
need to go
surprised
back
Cordova
to some
went
planets or something.
Must have had good reason.
I am staying put on the Mantis once we arrive. Red sunlight cannot be good for your skin.
This place used to be home to
Oh,
a
it's not good
powerful
for
cabal
Superman.
of Force wielders known as the Night Sisters.
They use the Force? What, like Jedi?
No. These witches served only themselves. Their powers focused on deception, illusion, manipulation.
Sounds like someone I used to know.
During the Clone Wars, the Night Sisters made a deal with a Sith Lord who betrayed their trust. In the end, they were nearly wiped out in a massacre. Dathomir is a deadly place. We should be careful.
You don't have to tell
That
me
storyline's covered in the Clone Wars animated series. It is a really
coming
good
up on our creepy
storyline.
destination.
Multiple
Grab some
part
seat, kid.
goes into it, brings it back, Darth Maul, things like that. Really, really good storyline. Clone Wars as a whole was really good, and it had some interesting episodes. the Planet of the Night Sisters. It's a Boston Press. Those were some good series.
On the ship, indoors, I got walls, I got Jedi, I'm fine. Yeah.
Cal, do you have a moment? You've come a long way since Braca, but the path is far from over. I want you to know the difficult challenges ahead.
I can handle it.
I know what you can do. I'm not denying that.
And I know what has to be done. I've done it before.
Cal,
Oh, man,
even the strongest of Jedi.
I'm not Trilla. I'll be fine.
I know you're not. I didn't say that.
What was the assassin
I'm not
Jedi's
asking you
name?
to
Why
say
am I
anything.
or Darden?
It's okay, Seer.
Jedi.
Really.
Just be safe.
She
Cal.
wasn't Sith either.
That's
but
all.
Count Dooku's apprentice. Why can I? She was in the Clone Wars movie and stuff. Her character was definitely developed to be much more interesting than.
Good thing we weren't standing there.
Which was great.
What is
You know, in
that
the
thing?
movie, she was just your titular bad guy.
Count on him being friendly.
In the series, she became so much more. You know, they revealed her Jedi connection and essentially being sold off. Good story. What do you got there, buddy?
Got something?
Yeah, because those aren't creepy enough. Parrying is not accepted. Ventress, thank you. Yes.
I could use a stem.
I mean, not everybody in, you know, the Clone Wars and those kinds of things got, you know, a whole lot of character development or anything really, but her character did. And when they brought in, you know, Savage and Obi-Wan and Darth Maul and gave those whole storylines, I was just glad that she became more than just kind of, I hate everything and I'm going to kill you all kind of character, which tends to happen too often. But new Star Wars is great. They're taking characters and they're adding layers to these otherwise two-dimensional characters. I mean, they've taken Boba Fett from
Night Sister.
someone who
Practicing
had
her craft.
a couple lines in the first movie, got scolded by Darth Vader, you know, for no disintegrations, and bonks his head on his own ship as he's getting into it. The character was completely two-dimensional, but he got fleshed out in things like comics, and now he's getting his own series, and they're doing a great job onto it. I like it. I'm happy with what they're doing with this character. I'm not sure everybody is necessarily on this, you know, that whole, this is kind of cool thing. You know, they're not like, that's not the Boba Fett we know. Our Boba Fett's a evil bounty hunter out for the money, and, you know, is totally a badass. And, I'm digging this one. Oh, more woo-woo? What do we got? Plant? No.
Thanks, BD.
I want another seed. Okay. Probably lost at this point. So we check out that. Oh, I guess there was somewhere to go up there. Oh well. More places to go over here. I forgot about that death swing. Thought you wanted to scan it, buddy. Oh, you're somewhere else. Like over there.
Oh, nice.
I think choosing to do series was also a really smart move on their part. I think they figured out that they were having some problems with their movies, and I'm not talking like I hate on the trilogies or anything else like that. I enjoyed them. I liked all of them, but they weren't being widely loved by the overwhelming audience, and I think the decision to go through and do series and, you know, especially pick characters that I think people were going to resonate with was a really smart move on their part, because that gave them an opportunity to capitalize on things that people had already loved about the series as a whole, but also expand on that and, you know, find ways where they could. Alright, there's clearly somewhere I'm supposed to be going. You know, so you capitalize on what people actually like, but at the same time you go through and, you know, expand them in ways that's just a lot more interesting, and so you get the appeal, and you get the automatic, you know, fan base click in, but at the same time you're able to create much more interesting stories and provide them in a way that allows you to tell a longer story that gives you the opportunity and the time to really, you know, give characters credibility and build interest and suspense without feeling like you either have to make a movie that's too long or, you know, like they did with some of the movies. They just ended up either being too long or felt like they were too confused. I think series is a much better way to go with the direction that at least the higher ups have with what they want to do with the Star Wars story as a whole. And I'm not going to disagree with you that, one, I agree that the expanded universe was some absolutely fantastic storytelling. I'm grateful that they brought some of that back in with like Admiral Thrawn and, you know, some of those other stories. Revan is starting to be technically considered canon, I think. So there's definitely those things that they're doing, but at the same time, I'm a huge comic fan. I collected comics in the 90s when I was growing up, and so when they started doing, you know, like the X-Men movies and started actually making really good comic book movies, not just it, and then the Marvel movies started coming out, Iron Man, and these stories started coming out, and they started doing a really good job telling those kinds of stories. I learned a long time ago, because I also remember the Batman movies coming out, that not to get overly invested in one type of media and expect something similar from another type of medium. So, you know, when the X-Men movies came out and they were very, shall I say, liberal with what characters' ages were and the extent of their powers and things like that, you know, Cyclops and Havoc are completely flip-flopped, and they put a huge span of time between them as brothers. It's just really weird stuff like that, you know, which worked well in the movies, and if you weren't a huge fan, it didn't throw you off. For fans, they could have got really upset with stuff. So I got used to it a long time ago of saying, you know, there's one form of media, comics, novels, things like that, video games, and then there's, you know, someone's going to come along and they're going to do a TV show or they're going to do a movie, and I go into it hoping, or at least trying to be interested in this new story, and, you know, I guess basically trying to not be upset that they're fucking up the thing that I fell in love with in the first place. But I'm also older, so a lot of people Yeah, I was there when when the
work.
prequels came out. Because I was a kid when the first 3 Star Wars came out. I was very young.
place seems
When
abandoned.
I went and saw them in the theaters, I kind of don't remember it. But in my 20s, 20 years later, I finally got
You
to go see the
trespass.
prequels. Star Wars
Jedi.
finally came back. They released
Must
the
be a nice
original with
sister.
the new digital
I
enhancements.
heard you were all dead.
Then
Not
they released
all.
the prequels, and
Dathomir is
people were
forbidden
pissed
to
off
you.
about them.
Leave at once.
Well, I'm afraid I can't do that, but perhaps we could help each other. You see, Easy.
Pretty sure
I'm
this
not
says
your enemy.
Your actions say otherwise.
Wait, hold on. I'm not here to...
Now there's some bad guys. So yeah, when I went and saw the Star Wars movies, I was like, no. And I knew that George Lucas wasn't as involved anymore, so...
He could not stand against our might.
I need to pay more attention. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be a story like the other stories. But then again, I think people got really upset with the prequels when they came out. And what's funny is George Lucas was so heavily involved with the prequels. And there were so many people that's like, this isn't my Star Wars. I'm so disappointed with what they could have done with this. And I'm like, meh. Meh. I thought they were interesting. They were interesting takes. Like I said, it would have been nicer to, you know, give Luke a happier storyline where, you know, maybe he did get married and that kind of a thing. Han and Leia still actually being together and being good parents. But I get it.
I need a stim, BD.
Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever. Create a fandom, X-Men, comic books, Marvel. It's all the same. It's all the same. Like I said, when the X-Men movies came out, people hated those too. Except everybody loved that Patrick Stewart was Charles Xavier. Because that was probably, aside from Ryan Reynolds being Deadpool, I don't think he could have done better than Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. Sir Patrick Stewart, I apologize. Totally going the wrong way. Oh, because there was a shortcut. Damn it. I did not do the shortcut. Damn it, Josh. That was not smart. Yeah, I'm not even sure who's pickier fans, Star Wars or Star Trek. And the funny thing is they're so similar in many ways, and I'm not talking about like they're both sci-fi. I'm saying that they both have this cult fandom that had to wait extended periods between things. So for most of my childhood, there was no new Star Wars at all. You had toys. That was it. You had your movies, and they would go from VHS to we finally have DVD or Laserdisc or whatever. But there wasn't anything new for, like I said,
Much better. Thanks.
15 years or something. It was crazy. You know, I was an infant when my parents took me to A New Hope, and I was drinking alcohol when I went and saw Phantom Menace. So, that's for some people that's their whole life. And we didn't have anything. And Star Trek kind of went through the same thing for a while. You had the show in the 60s, and then, you know, or the 70s or whatever it was, and then there was nothing. There were some movies that came out, and people had that, but, you know, they would still bitch about the fact that, you know, what are these old people doing, you know, here, and we're saving whales now, and there's a Star Trek without the Enterprise. How are we doing that? How are you Star Trek with a Klingon ship? Yeah, and they expanded the books and comic books were out, and they were really popular. But in the 90s, comics were huge for multiple stories.
Yes.
That's when you had the
Think you
huge
could match me?
record-breaking numbers.
Strike him! Your blows are weak.
But yeah, some of the best Star Wars novels and stuff came out in the 90s. Then you had the early 2000s, and their video games started getting a lot better. I'm not sure when Knights of the Old Republic came out.
I'll get you.
But it was... And then you had, the 90s was the big TIE fighters. I know, it was like, oh, it's just flight sims, but I believe there were stories to a lot of that. Now, the biggest thing that I'm disappointed about with Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm is they also acquired Lucas Games. And when they did that, they shut it down. And when they shut it down, I think they made a huge mistake with regard to gaming, because shortly after that they started opening up the licensing to a bunch of other people, and it lost some of that consistency that went through, and we ended up with some Star Wars that people were really unhappy with. And fortunately, like a game like this comes back around and really changes things. But see, and I'm glad that it was the books that pulled you in. I was doing more fantasy novels and things like that in the 90s. Fantasy novels, X-Men comics, and then started getting into video games. But at that time, it was a lot of PlayStation stuff like that, so there weren't super awesome games for Star Wars or even Star Trek. Yeah, it really was. And I know that they had already downsized before that because they were starting to expand some of the licensing out to other companies for development purposes, because games just got to a point where the development and creation of games takes so long that you almost have to farm it out if you have an intellectual property like Star Trek or Star Wars. It's just smart gaming. You're able to release titles that are a part of your franchise at a much more regular basis than if you have them all within one house. But they still had Lucasfilm overseeing all of that. So in addition to being a developer, they were also kind of a, I guess, like a publisher or, director or something. They had oversight into a lot of those games. And the downside is we lost out on some pretty good games. There was, oh God, wasn't there like a bounty hunter game or something? Level whatever, that there were some teasers for that came out that was, kind of exploring Coruscant's lower levels and those kinds of things. No, and yes, we'll do Big Push because I didn't do Big Push before. So yeah, and the sad thing is those games went through so much development. It's really kind of one of those things where it's like, why didn't you sell off those assets to either another developer, or they were going to shut it down regardless. So, why didn't you take those pre-built assets and just say, hey, what can you guys do with these? Okay, I see that. Yeah. Yeah, when they went through and they said, oh, we've got it and we're doing our own movie, so we're going to do our own story. Yeah, they were definitely going to clean slate it, but I don't know. I like the movies, you know, but I took them for what they were, which is, you know, here's some new movies and we're, you know, here's someone's story. You know, there's a script writer that's going to be coming in and doing it.
Or Night Brothers.
Brothers, stand with me! Jedi coward!
I'm blocking.
You don't have real power! You will kill no more of my brothers!
If my brother stops attacking me, I wouldn't have to kill him. But no, I walk up, they start shooting.
You cannot hide your weakness!
Woo-woo. No woo-woo there. Alright, that's fine.
I see you, outsider!
And don't get me wrong, my issue with the sequels was I think they tried to pack too much story into a film. So, what's my good example? The whole, like, we're gonna leave the ship and we're gonna go off to the casino and try to get this guy so that we can figure out a way to get past the shields into this giant ship so that we can do something. And then yeah, they just went through. And honestly, if you watch the movie, I think it's the second one, and you just skip past those parts, you can enjoy the movie and it doesn't change anything about it. And I'm like, if I can do that, then it should have just been edited out. And they could have, and it would have been fine. And honestly, they could have just cut out some portions and been like, hey, I'm going to head out of here and go do this. And then, you know, they show them coming back. Just so that you could explain why you're not putting all of your characters in every scene. Which is super weird for a film. You know, you get an introduction and you like the characters and you like the development, and
enough running.
All of a sudden you get to the second one and you're like, these characters are boring. And I think part of their problem was either the change of directors, because I know that they went with a different director in the second one, or who was writing the script and who was re-editing and things like that. I know that when
you cannot defeat our might,
you know.
BD, I need help. BD, here.
They've gone back and actually said that, you know, we acknowledge that
I won't let you flee.
One of the biggest problems, it might have been J.J. Abrams or whoever actually directed the two movies, that he admitted that they probably should have gone through and put more effort into developing a larger story arc beyond, you know, just we're going to make a film and then we'll just build this trilogy out with these characters. And if they had gone back through in the beginning and said, okay, you know, we're committing to 3 films because that's what this is Star Wars, then we need to come up with one, we need to come up with the overall arc, and then we at least need to have an idea of what we want to accomplish in each of the films. You know, look at the characters. Where do we want them to start? Where do we want them to finish over the course of 3 films? And George Lucas having an idea, I think originally it was like they were supposed to be 3, and he came up with an idea and realized he could only accomplish 1, and then if he made enough money, he would make 3. So he had an idea of what he wanted to do with these characters and the story and everything else, but they pulled the Death Star into the first movie and blew it up in the first movie, which is why when we get to the third movie, we have a second Death Star. Why? Because there was a Death Star when it was supposed to just be one big ass movie. So, you know, even that one's problematic. But at least George Lucas, you know, responded to the criticism and got different directors, and they look at Empire and they're like, this is why Empire's better, because, you know, George Lucas didn't direct it. And my thing with Star Wars is the writing, especially the prequels. For Hayden Christensen, and I forget the name of the actor that played young Anakin in the first movie. But I mean, he didn't deserve what happened to him afterwards. Like, he went back to school afterwards and people were just crapping all over him. And you look at him today and he's got like criminal problems and addictions and things like that. That's just not fair. That's just not fair at all. Yeah, I completely agree. Like, they had a number of characters and they wanted to introduce some new characters. And so they had to come up with this other plot line. And they just, because they're stuck on ships, so you already have Rey doing. And I think Star Wars works well when you have two storylines. You know, your A and your B, and they can both be kind of important. And they broke away from that. They were like, yep, let's throw in a third storyline, and people were just like, okay, I'm bored now. This isn't fun anymore. But for what they're worth, they're beautiful films, and the stuff got executed well. And you know, if you look back at some of the older films with an open eye, you see that they're not great. They're a lot of fun, and you know, for what they are, they're, you know, great story and a lot of fun. And the world that he created back in '77 is just phenomenal. It's unlike anything that people have seen before.
Oh, fellow wanderer.
The concept of used space, where things were actually used and not new, was absolutely revolutionary in sci-fi, and has, you know, developed in sci-fi and have been super impactful.
That would explain your survival.
I think they kind of forgot some of that.
No one to fear. Just a traveler, studying the nature of extinct cultures,
dark, creepy roads,
and philosophies.
You study the Night Sisters?
I study many things. But yes, that Night Sister, she was only a child when the war came to this world. She had to watch her whole family perish.
What do you know about those ruins?
Oh, ancient beyond belief.
I think a lot of people got really upset with the
Night
direction
Sister
they
and
went
her
with
warrior
Luke.
kin.
Not including him in the first film.
By the power that lurks
making him
within.
a grumpy, pissed off guy who's hiding in the second.
Avoid the ruins. Or the same thing.
Yeah, he was a better storyteller than a scriptwriter, to be sure. And like I said, you know, I was okay with them making Luke, you know, disheartened. I thought it was an interesting take that was subverting people's expectations of where Luke should have been, because they had this huge expanded universe that they were working with, and you know, had been built up, and Luke had been built up as, you know, doing, you know, his academy wasn't perfect, and there were definitely some problems, but at the same time, you know, he did have students, and it was otherwise successful. So,
Brothers, aid me!
whoa.
Stop his recovery!
So if they'd have done that, how would that have been any different than what you read?
Look all you have.
How could they have done it in a way that would have been interesting and original? So I got what he was doing. I think they went a little hard on it, as in...
Looks climbable, but not without equipment.
Whoa, dude.
Die! You'll rot in the swamp!
But I liked it. I kind of liked old grumpy Luke. I kind of liked the acknowledgement that the Jedi Order wasn't perfect. Because I think a lot of people started, you know, really looking at it and questioning it. Because when the first ones came out, the Jedi Order was vague and mysterious. And you could paint them like we paint knights of old now. So we paint them as being chivalric and honorable and having this code, and samurais live by Bushido and those kinds of things. No, they didn't execute it well. And so when the prequels came out, people were like, are the Jedis kind of bad guys here? Like, feeling weak, their philosophy isn't really super open and is rather not just conservative, but rather closed-minded. And, you know, the way that they live is, you know, kind of psychologically harmful. So, you know, people started actually looking at the Jedi with much more open eyes, and I think that that movie in particular was trying to acknowledge that and acknowledge it in world in a way that says, you know, these guys aren't perfect, that you can go too far. And I guess one of the reasons why I liked it is there was a novel series that I read when I was growing up, and they, you know, one of the themes through that one was balance, and how there's always the struggle between good and evil, and when good becomes too powerful, you end up with a lot of suffering as well, because when things become good, then there's, you know, clearly things that are bad. But when you have too much of it, then you start getting a lot of, well, now what else is bad? Because we have to continuously find this new evil. And so they start becoming, you know, much more, I don't have the word for it, but essentially, you know, when piety gets to a point where they start becoming exclusionary to other groups and other races and other types and people who, you know, and then it evolves to people who just don't agree with what they're saying. And, you know, that was definitely something that had to be acknowledged amongst the Jedi Order, because they were ignoring all these things and they should have noticed what was going on, but they didn't. And how did they let that happen? And so I think they did an okay job. The final trilogy was gonna, they were screwed one way or the other. I think Disney was between a rock and a hard place. You know, first off, George Lucas.
You will go no further.
Yeah, Dark Matter. Thank
no.
you. That's perfect.
He was right about you.
Who? What?
Jedi are thieves and selfish liars who bring nothing but death.
Back off. If you attack me again, I'll strike you down.
Oh, I won't do a thing. But my murdered sisters. They will have their revenge.
And now we get zombies. Because this game has to copy, like, every genre of other video games. Out of the way. Don't die here. No, stim, BD. Oh, I'm out of stims. I thought I rested at the last save point. That was very, very bad of me. Very bad of me. Oh, now they give me all my stims and shit back. Alright, I see how you guys are. But, and they've even started doing that with new Star Wars, and I think Star Wars has done a slightly better job. By slightly, I mean, like, no, not everybody's happy with it. With, you know, kind of going with, hey, maybe the Federation isn't all that perfect. And why is that? And how come they're not being called out into it? You know, nothing's perfect, everything goes. And so with the new direction that Discovery has gone, with the Federation, you know, falling back because of the burn and things like that, it's just been much more interesting. And I think a lot of these older franchises are starting to, you know, at least listen to the criticisms that, you know, some people make. And while the people aren't being negative about those criticisms, they just point out the plot holes and like, hey, you know, how are you able to be the good guys when XYZ happens? You know, how can you have this wonderful technology? How can a planet like Bajor be, you know, totally fucked up, but you guys have replicators and things like that? Like, you can't smuggle a few replicators in to, you know, at least let them have blankets, or at least to the refugee planets that are in your territory, or open up territory, you know. So a lot of these criticisms that, you know, people would poke holes at because screenwriters are trying to produce a show every week, and a lot of shows. Like, I think that's the thing people don't realize is, you know, we were getting, you know, 40 episodes, 20-something episodes. It was either way. It was like there's a new episode every week, and you know, and they literally came out every week, fully edited show, hour long.
Nice job.
You know, something like they do 4 months a year, so you know, you get something like 26 to 30 episodes a year. Now we get 10 episode, 12 episode seasons, and you know, that's how it is. And they were cramming these things out. And it's funny when you listen to them, you know, the older actors, Jonathan Frakes, Patrick Stewart, you know, even, you know, by the time they got to Enterprise and they were doing those, and you hear about the filming, and they'd be like, yeah, you'd be doing this scene, and you're doing it for one episode, and then you're going over to another set, and you're filming for the next week's episode. It was insane. Like, they had no idea what these shows were actually like. They were just getting their lines, getting their scripts, and trying to put them out there. And then the editors were the ones who were going through and actually making an episode out of it. It was crazy. Yes, there were. Actually, no. I don't think they went to. I don't think they went to 3. They went to.
Can I get a stim BD1?
There was overlap between TNG and DS9. TNG ended, and Voyager began after that. So they did films. So there was an overlap of TNG films, the DS9, and Voyager all happening at the same time. But there wasn't. Next Gen ended, and then Voyager started, which is why DS9, when you listen to you know, some of the interviews of, like, if you watch the behind the scenes, or not the behind the scenes, the DS9 documentary, and Ira Stephen Bear's talking about you know, some of the things that they were able to do was because you had a lot of the other executive producers so focused on Voyager. They had just recently wrapped on Yada Yada, and now they're working on Voyager and trying to create those storylines. So that helped DS9, and I think that was really helpful for them.
Night Sister keep following us?
It's unfortunate that
Sierra called them force wielders.
It
I've never
worked
seen
that
it
way.
used this way before.
It's really
We better
kind
stay
of
on our
funny.
toes. Wait, do you have toes?
I would have liked to have seen what would have
No idea
happened
what that flying
if
creature is?
the Order had changed.
Let's hope we don't find out.
So let's say that Ira Stephen Bear got Voyager as opposed to DS9 and wanted to do stuff that was more serialized, while crap, I can't remember his name, had the, you know, had gone the other way. Because a lot of people's complaints about Voyager was the fact that here's this show that's literally giving the opportunity to be a serialized show, to finally have a Star Trek have consequences over time. So it lends itself to serialization. You're stuck in this other place and you're trying to get from A to B. Whereas DS9 could have easily been a show that, oh, I guess I could have gone through that. Probably won't open that door. Whereas DS9 could have easily been another you know, TNG-like show that happened on a space station, where every episode is new, and you don't necessarily have to incorporate as much character growth and development and, you know, serialized storytelling. You can still have a very episodic storytelling, which, you know, DS9 had. It wasn't completely serialized. So I think it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if, you know, those things had changed and Ira Steven Behr was put in charge of Voyager instead of DS9. I think we would have ended up with a better Voyager. I'm just not sure if we would have had as good of a DS9. So, who knows?
Night Brother runes. Think we're getting close to a village?
You can match me? Your blows are weak. Stop moving. He's too far. Prepare to die, Jedi.
I didn't want to take you out that way, but I'll cheat.
Try me,
Stand
Jedi.
Do it again. Because it's easier than just actually fighting guys straight up.
I need a stim, BD.
This fight is mine. The Jedi. Prepare to die, outsider.
Someone was hunted here.
So what's your video going to be about, Admiral? And I hope I'm not keeping you from the script. If you want to work on both or you want to head out and work on it, I'm totally not. But then I understand productivity is an important thing, and if you got stuff to do, you got stuff to do. Oh, damn it. I was pairing too. All the way back here. Well, I was hoping to get to a stop. I forgot that if you don't actually visit this one, you know, throughout the storyline, that this ends up being a very long planet. Because you can actually come here sooner and take care of a good chunk of this. But I have not. This is the first time here.
Stim here, BD.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy hanging out. I definitely appreciate it. There's a few live streams I like to watch because I like the content creators. I think they're, you know, interesting people and do a good thing. Can I just take this up? Oh, darn. I was hoping this was down in the shortcut for me, but no. It's not. Dang it. Yeah, and a couple other people earlier on. Oh, well that should be interesting, and definitely not a light subject.
An intruder!
I will stop you now! Try harder, weakling!
Yeah, I went to college much later. I went and got my associate's degree, you know, when I was younger, and then I went back, and I was in my 30s, and I went back to finish my bachelor's degree. I got my associate's in my 20s, and I went back to my 30s for my bachelor's degree, which means that a lot of the students that I went to classes with were, you know, very young, you know, 18 to 20s, and
Get him.
yeah, it was very clear to see that, you know, they were not really open to criticism, and were quite sensitive to it,
I need
which
help.
I found really interesting.
Good
Like,
job.
I would actively go and work with my teachers and ask them, you know, what could I have done better here? You know, where was it that, you know, I got marked for points. You know, what was it that I could have done better? You know, what was it that, you know, get clarification on where and why I was being marked for what I was being marked for, and I saw the same thing at work when I would do training. Older employees were much more open to criticism of what they were doing than the younger employees. And I worked in manufacturing for 20 years, so you know, I spent a lot of time with, you know, people of both ends, and you had to give specific instruction, and you know, people weren't necessarily as open to criticism. It was just very interesting. So, nice topic. Great topic.
Stop this!
Let's check it out.
I don't disagree. I think that a lot of time they have it, and a lot of time it's properly founded. There is a foundation for some people's, you know, feeling as though being a part of a marginalized group has led to, you know, criticism that's, you know, or unnecessary or unfair criticism because of the fact that they are marginalized. And unfortunately, that's led to circumstances in which marginalized groups use that as a way to, god damn it, why can't I actually like make that jump? That's so simple. To use that as a way of saying, you know, of scapegoating out and avoiding the criticism without actually having to acknowledge that, you know, there may be some valid points that are being made. Oh, thank you very much, you dear sweet, sweet save point. Alright, let's see what's on the skill tree. And it looks like we've been, or I've been streaming. We're going to go ahead and we'll do more force, because I've been running out of it, and that's been bothering me. We'll do the max force increase. And I think I'm actually going to call it. So I've been streaming for about 3 hours now, and it's been going really well, and I appreciate it. And of course, I appreciate you joining in the chat. It was great to chat with you, and I appreciate it. And you know, I wish you the best of luck with the rest of your script writing and filming if you get to that tonight. It sounds like an absolutely interesting topic to delve into, and so I'll definitely try to find it and check it out and stuff like that. Well, I hope it is helpful. Yeah, if that's, and I know people who are very, you know, critical of what it is that they do and tend to be very hard on themselves and have extremely high expectations for their own kind of thing. And, you know, if making these videos and things like that is helpful and therapeutic and helps you work through some of those kinds of things, I think that's absolutely fantastic. You know, definitely don't let it get your way when you get into editing is the only advice I can give. I got to a point where my expectations exceeded my ability, and I got extremely frustrated with it and kind of hit a stop point, and I'm really disappointed in myself for getting to that point, because realistically I should have had those kinds of expectations for my first videos, especially with a brand new piece of software that I wasn't familiar with and an editing process that I'm not familiar with either. It wasn't anything that I took classes for, and if you talk to people like Jesse and some of the other content creators that are out there, they've either been doing it for a long time, so you know that's something that's part and parcel with their education as they were developing, or literally had taken classes about editing and an editing process and story and, you know, those kinds of things. So, you know, they had some, you know, early insight into a lot of those things. I know when I got into it and was trying to edit videos, I've got like 2 or 3 videos that I never even bothered finishing. Like I went out and got all the material for it and I put it in there, and then I started getting into the editing application, which I was using DaVinci Resolve, and I guess I got to a point where I realized that I should probably be going out and watching more videos and maybe try to start less ambitiously with what I expect my videos to be, and maybe try something on more simply. And I'm hoping to do that, and I'd like to do that, and we'll see. Which is why I started live streaming, because I felt it was something that I was more comfortable with and could do a little more easily, and kind of, you know, help build an audience for when I get to a point where I could do actually straight up just standard edited scripted videos and go to that point. So I love that you popped in. I really appreciate it. I totally enjoy our conversations. It definitely gives me an opportunity to interact with the chat and, yeah, divide my time both between the game. I'm not just shouting out into a void and stuff like that. I really enjoy it, and I like your insights, and you bring a lot of really good, you know, things in there to help keep the conversation going. So thank you so much for coming in. I really, really do appreciate it. I plan on keep doing this, so I'll do it again on Tuesday and Saturday. No, Friday. I'm sorry, I stream on Tuesdays and Friday nights. Friday nights I tend to go a little later. I know you say you have other things going on Fridays, so that's great. So if you could be here for the Tuesday streams, that'd be wonderful. I'm going to keep playing this until I finish it off, and then we'll find another game. So Oh, it is such a great feeling too. So congratulations on getting the first video out, and good luck on the second one and everything else that comes out. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna call it here, and I'm gonna put a stop to the stream. But I appreciate you coming, and I hope I see you again next week. And I will probably see you, if I'm not working or doing something else, then I'll see you in one of Jesse's chats or something. So you have a great week, and good luck on the stuff that you're working on. Bye.